Welcome back, gamers, to another episode of the Slow Run Cast.
Where's the energy, my dude?
No energy, bro. I started saying slow, and I'm like, oh, I didn't take a deep breath before this. Let's try this again. Slow Run Cast. Was that better?
Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
I was like a second into it, and I was like, oh no, and take a breath. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. I'm on the AI playlist for YouTube.
What?
I haven't sent you any of this stuff, hey? I've been on like the whole like rap
AI?
songs. No. Sora AI is like wild. Like the videos coming out from that is wild, but
I saw Grandma,
I've been listening to like rap songs, but changed into like 50s, 60s, like soul or like Motown. And it's wild. It's actually so good. AI is taking over our lives.
With fire, man.
Oh yeah.
With fire. But these Sora videos, bro, I've been seeing. The other one I saw yesterday was this grandma. She's getting like her back cracked or something by a chiropractor, and then he just proceeds to grab her and like toss her across the room. And she like goes into a wall, and like the wall breaks. And I'm like, this is bad.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the WWE ones. So Paul Walker is getting beat down by his GTR.
I've been seeing Saddam Hussein is like fighting somebody else in WWE.
Really?
Yeah, it's like Saddam Hussein and he's like fight in some WWE.
I want to see
him
fight George Bush.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the inevitable death of the human civilization via artificial intelligence. We're here to talk about video games while they last. Before Elon Musk a couple of weeks ago was like, yeah, in about a year or two we'll be able to make a good video game with like Twitter's AI thing, Grok.
Dude, I cannot take anything serious from Mr. Musk.
Yeah, he's a wild one.
Maybe we'll finally get those self-driving cars that he's been promising for the last like 10 years.
Aren't they self-driving already, the Teslas?
I mean, if you change the definition of what self-driving is.
Yeah.
They sure are.
I don't know if I really want one, to be honest with you. I think I'm okay with just a regular car.
I want everybody else around me to have one, so I don't have to deal with these.
Well, I saw a video of one that was like malfunctioning, and the guy, but I don't know if it was a Tesla, to be honest with you. It was definitely an electric vehicle, and it might have been in China, but the guy's vehicle was like malfunctioning, and it kept going into the Jersey barrier on his right, and he like couldn't straighten it out. He's sitting there like this behind the seat, behind the steering wheel, and these guys were like recording him.
Yeah, I think in China there was one where the locks were like, I think this was a Xiaomi car, but yeah, the locks like were locked in there, and then his car was on fire, so he couldn't get out.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah. He couldn't get out there trying to put him out.
Death by AI.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not there yet with this stuff.
All right. Well, let's talk about the things that
we are there with.
That won't kill us potentially.
Yeah. Well, we'll see here. So kind of in the fallout of all the Xbox Game Pass price hike and console hike stuff, there's been more speculation on what the next Xbox console is going to be. And we actually got some leaks this week that the next Xbox console is, or quote unquote, should be stronger than the PS6, but more expensive. And this is all coming from a YouTube channel that has actually pretty solid reporting called Moore's Law is Dead. And he recently posted a video about the leaked main processor of the upcoming Xbox console, which uses an AMD Magnus APU, which is a combination, which combines the CPU and the GPU onto a single chip. He believes that this is going to make this chip 46% larger than the one allegedly planned for the PS6. And he says that this is in line with the speculation that the next Xbox console is going to be a hybrid PC console kind of thing. And he did say that it will be faster than the PS6, but we're at a point with technology of diminishing returns. So he's like, don't expect like just because of this size. He's like, if the PS6 is going to, for example, be able to do 4K 120 FPS with ray tracing, expect this thing to do 4K 144 FPS, like maybe 20% more frame generation, which I thought is interesting. He also predicts that the cost of this thing is going to be between $800 and $1,200 USD, which I know we've been talking about competitiveness with Sony and like seemingly all these decisions that they're making. So they've been talking about like Xbox price hikes, Game Pass hikes, putting their games on PS5. Seemingly the console's not selling. Like, how are they going to compete? This thing is going to be, if it's going to be stronger than the PS6, I could see how that's going to appeal to some people. But to others at this price, if the PS6 could come way cheaper, they're kind of outpricing themselves from the competition. Like, where are we going to go from here? But this video did bring up something that I never factored in because maybe I'm not that in tune with the PC market. But he's saying actually, if all of this turns out to be true, the thing that it's going to bring to the table is competition against other PC products. That's the big thing. Not so much competition against the PS6. It's almost as if they've lost to that. And he quotes, for example, let's say the Asus wants to sell you a pre-built with an RTX 4070 in it for $2,500. How could they possibly get away with something like that if an Xbox console is out there that runs some version of full Windows 11 and actually has an RTX 5080 or better and possibly with like ray tracing performance? So he's going to say this hybrid console may force some, PC manufacturers to rethink their prices if it comes in at a really good price. So this thing is slated for 2027, apparently. That was already also rumored. There were some other conflicting rumors about how they were saying these consoles are going to come out in 2028 because Mark Cerny, he had a whole little... Mark Cerny from Sony had a whole little meeting and discussion with AMD recently in a video, and they talked about how the next future consoles are going to be in a few years. Some people interpreted few as in more than 2, so that would put it at 2028. But 2027 kind of puts us in line with how often these consoles have been coming.
I think it's going to be a later launch than 2027, personally.
So you think it's going to take longer?
I think so. I feel like with the current state of just how the world is, I think 2028 is probably a better bet. I really don't think the Xbox is really going to push the pre-builts in terms of a competition base, because I feel like those people that are buying a PC are buying a PC and they're not buying an Xbox. Like when you think about buying an Xbox, you're thinking about buying a game console. I think for them to change that thinking is going to be very, very tough. But
do you not see the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X as kind of like a way to tinker into this kind of whole little thing? You have basically an Xbox branded PC. Like you put this ROG Ally first and it's already out there that Microsoft's trying to get into this. And then potentially you give it more of a PC branding than just the console branding like the Series X and S.
Yeah, but to the basic like consumer, I don't think they're like, if they're gaming, they're buying an Xbox. Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think they'd be like comparing it to like a gaming PC, So
you don't think like, okay, me, like for example, me, I'm not into the PC kind of marketplace aside from my Steam Deck. This thing comes out, it's like $1,000. It runs better than the PS6 significantly. I can play some of the PlayStation games on it through Steam. It has a Steam launcher, has an Epic launcher, has the Microsoft Store with the Game Pass. It's priced in that sweet spot, and it could give me the power of something that I would spend otherwise $1,800 for or $2,000. Do you not see the appeal for that?
Yeah, but then when you do that, I don't know. I feel like if you're a PC enthusiast, you're building your own PC, right? Like thinking from like a parent standpoint, if you're buying an Xbox, you're buying an Xbox. I don't think they would do that type of comparison. The enthusiast might, but I think at the end of the day, the enthusiast will still build their own PC. I would never try and compare like an Xbox to like a custom built PC, right? Or even like a pre-built one. And I think that's going to be a very hard hurdle for them to get past.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's a possibility to pull former Xbox users, people who are diehard on the console, and maybe they've always wanted to tinker with a PC, or people like me that are on the edge. I bought the last Series X, but I don't know. I don't really play PC games, but if this thing offers like way more power for an easier kind of entry fee, it could be like, the conduit in which I fully transition into that. You know what I mean? Instead of just going out and dumping 4 or 5 grand on a crazy PC, I could be like, okay, well, listen, I could buy a PS6 and I could buy this next Xbox thing, and it's priced decent for what it is. It's still expensive, but I'm still like, you know, an enthusiast, and I could still play Game Pass on it, and I could play some console games on it, but also the third-party games, I could play the better version of that third-party game on a console on my TV versus, you know.
I have the ROG Xbox experience, and the software is definitely not there. Like, you're at the end of the day, if they do decide to do this, they're running Windows, and Windows has its own quirks because it is not specifically for gaming. It is specifically for multi-use, right? If they do decide to do this, their software needs to be way, way more optimized, way more dedicated. I just don't think that it's going to get there quite as quick as we think it will.
So have you tried this new update on your old ROG Ally?
I have. There is still some weird Windows things. Yeah. So, like, again, I think at the end of the day, maybe if this generation goes well and it is really good, like, price to performance, then it may draw more eyes onto it. But I still feel like if you are a PC enthusiast, you are going to be building your own PC. You wouldn't be buying a pre-built. If you're a parent buying a PC, I don't know. I still think $1,000 is still quite a bit. I think it's just going to be a very interesting market if they are going to be launching at the $1,200 USD price point for a console like that.
Yeah, I still disagree with you. I don't think this is targeting that guy who has the big $3,000 rig to turn this way. I think it's targeting the guy that's on the fence, maybe buying pre-built laptops, maybe or he's on the console, or he's an Xbox person but he's not really sure, or he's a PlayStation person and he wants to move into PC. I think that's what it's targeting, to be honest with you. Well, and I don't think it's going to sell like gangbusters. I think this is going to be a niche product. I think the console war is over. This is not going to compete with PS6. It's not going to compete with the Switch. But it's just going to be a different type of product, akin to something like a Steam Deck or an Asus ROG Ally. Like, it's like a niche product that still, you know, people are aware of. It exists. It's like this is an alternative you could choose.
Well, okay, let's say that the PS6 launches at about the same time. It is cheaper. Yeah. It is, 20% slower, but you're still going to get all the Xbox games from the sounds of it. And then you're also going to get the PS exclusives. So if it's cheaper, we'll play the same games and we'll get the PS exclusives.
No, I agree.
Why would you?
I agree for sure. There's going to be more Xbox people that move to PlayStation. But the thing is, the Series X already doesn't sell. Like, even the Series S, that was selling relatively good when the consoles first launched, especially that Series S with its price point. Apparently, that's not really selling anymore. So I get it. Like, we're going to see a lot of console gamers that either probably move to PlayStation or move to Switch. But, like, for whoever remains, the diehard Xbox guys who remains, or, like, the enthusiasts like me that kind of want to get their claws in everything, I could see that that's a product for them. It's not going to sell great. I don't think it's going to sell even as much as the Series X and S. But it's just kind of their way of staying in hardware. And I think eventually it's going to get phased out for sure. I think eventually in the long run they're going to be out of the console market. I'm just curious to see how successful this thing is. That was like my only like idea. It's like a console thing that could provide you a lot more power than the PS6, but at the same time it's kind of like a PC thing that could maybe come in a little cheaper than the other stuff. That's the only appeal I have to. But I mean, I think it's obvious. They already lost the console war. They phased themselves out of the console war by hiking up the only bargaining chip they had, which was Game Pass, and they raised the price of the consoles, and they bought a bunch of, you know, first-party studios to develop for them that never released an exclusive. As soon as they all came all together and the fruits of their, you know, hard work came to be, they just started throwing everything on PlayStation 5, right? You know, I mean, it's crazy. At the beginning of the year, me and you, Derwin, were making predictions about how if Xbox was going to go like full third party, and then, you know, it was like, everything is going to come to, you know, like all of these games. And then like here we're in October and it's like, yeah, of course, obviously. It seems like it's so obvious. But in January, we're still not sure because all they put was like Hi-Fi Rush, and we were hearing rumors and blah blah blah. Now it's like, oh, everything is on PlayStation 5. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Also, there was another news story that came out this week that they were saying Target and Walmart in the United States were also clearing their shelves from Xbox products.
Yeah, that proved to be false, though.
It did prove to be false, but it's crazy that Microsoft has to go out and confirm that. I mean, the writing is on the wall. Like, this wouldn't have come up. These things are not selling. They're clearly not selling at all. Like, their sales have stagnated probably since 2023. Nobody's buying any new ones. I think they haven't even sold half of what the PS5 has sold. So the fact they have to come out and deny this, it tells you it's over. Like, they have to just... I mean, the only thing they have is third-party publishing left. I just don't see it. And even this ROG Ally, there was like the promise that it's going to be like a Steam Deck. But like you said, I've been watching some reviews online, and they're still saying the whole Windows thing, it's not solved. It's not like you have like a seamless kind of Xbox experience like you do on the Steam Deck, and everything's happening kind of behind the scenes. It's still kind of... You still have to tinker with it a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... Do we want to move to that next topic about the ROG Ally, or?
Yeah, you could talk about the ROG Ally. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. Like, it came out.
Yeah.
Some of the reviews are great. It's $1,300 in Canada. Like, especially the X. The other one's $800. The Windows thing isn't fully solved. It appears like they claimed it was.
Yeah. Their promise of how well that they partnered up with Asus for this didn't really come out to show. It seemed like Asus basically did the market research for pricing. Armory Crate did get like an update, but it still is a little bit awkward to use, like you said. And at the end of the day, I still feel like if you have an original ROG Ally, there was no reason to really make this upgrade.
Yeah.
So you have put out a product that will be very niche. So
I think they already knew this, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was a surprise.
This is insane. Like $1,300 for a handheld. You could buy 2 Steam Decks with that money. 3 if you go for the cheaper LCD almost in Canada. So, I mean, it's just... I still think Steam Deck is king. Especially, like, the whole promise of the whatever is, like, more seeming... Like, because you couldn't play Game Pass on your Steam Deck easily. So the whole promise of this thing is not only can you play Game Pass, it's, like, all Xbox, like...
Yeah, but it's not... It doesn't cover all Xbox games. It only covers
that's the
Xbox
other problem.
PC Game Pass, which was...
That's the other problem. It's only PC Game Pass. So there are console games that you'd be locked out of.
I mean, you could probably play them streaming, though, but then you're not really utilizing your hardware.
All right, so keep in mind, folks, if anyone wants to buy the Asus ROG Ally X in order to play GTA 6 when that comes out next year, you won't be able to, just a heads up.
Yeah, you'd be streaming it. And with that comes input lag and the dependency on Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a cool, from what I've heard, it's a really powerful product. It's really good. The grips are great. I can't justify that kind of number. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people can right now.
Especially since everything I'm interested in playing on my Steam Deck runs great on my Steam Deck. You know, I'm not interested in playing Cyberpunk 2077 at as high specs possible as I can on my handheld. I really don't care. I'd rather just play that on a TV or a monitor. Derwin, we could move on to follow-ups from the other big story that we had last episode, which was EA's sale to the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. There have been some concerns brought up in the last week or so, principally from some U.S. lawmakers and a couple of senators over in the United States, as well as the video game workers union that have voiced their concerns as well. So in a recent email from Scott Bennett, who's the United States Secretary of Treasury, he stated, we write with profound concern about the foreign influence and national security risks posed by the potential acquisition of the American video game producer Electronic Arts by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Silver Lake Group, LLC, and Jared Kushner's affinity partners. We urge you and the committee to apply searching scrutiny to this unprecedented proposed foreign privatization of a major American technology and entertainment company, because it is going private. The proposed transaction poses a number of significant foreign influence and national security risks, beginning with the PIF's reputation as a strategic arm of the Saudi government, which I talked about last week as well. Saudi Arabia's desire to buy influence through the acquisition of EA is apparent on the face of the transaction. The investors propose to pay more than $10 billion above EA's trading value for a company whose stock has stagnated for half a decade in an unpredictably volatile industry. So a couple of things to take from here. He's basically saying this is all like PR from the Saudi Arabian government, which I talked about. He's like, EA is stock's bad. The video game industry is not doing great. And they're paying 10 bill more than what this thing is worth. Talked about the whole Jared Kushner thing. Apparently there's another report from these senators that were saying the whole Jared Kushner thing is to get this thing to move through regulatory processes faster, because he's the son-in-law,
the Trojan horse.
Yeah, he is. He's the son-in-law of Donald Trump, and the whole idea for the Saudi Arabian investment fund, public investment fund, to bring him on board is to kind of expedite the process of this sale. And this is coming from Senators Richard Blumenthal and Elizabeth Warren. So, yeah, there's a couple of things to consider here. Let me see here if I could get a quote from what they said. But, yeah, the PIF's decision to partner with Trump's family member, Jared Kushner, whose firm previously received a $2 billion investment from the PIF over the objections of the PIF's own investment screening board, raising troubling concerns about whether Mr. Kushner is involved in the transaction solely to ensure the federal government's approval for the transaction. So apparently even internally, the PIF's kind of screening board was kind of concerned about all this. Given the proposed transaction's termination-free contingencies, the three investors appear to be betting $1 billion that Mr. Kushner can deliver the Trump administration's regulatory approvals, indeed consistent with Trump's administration's unprecedented corruption. I mean, this is a quote from them. I'm not trying to say that the Trump administration is corrupt, but maybe this lawmaker is a Democrat. But Trump administration's unprecedented corruption and monetization of federal government power. What regulator is going to say no to the president's son-in-law? So we kind of talked about all this last week, but now, like, you know, those were just some concerns people were voicing. Now it's like out there. Also, the video game workers union said that the $55 billion deal will further concentrate power and wealth into the hands of a few gatekeepers while doing nothing to address the concerns of players and workers. EA is not a struggling company, the statement says, with annual revenues reaching $7.5 billion and $1 billion in profit each year. EA is one of the largest video game developers and publishers in the world. EA's success has been entirely driven by tens of thousands of EA workers whose creativity, skill, innovation made EA worth buying in the first place, etc., etc. Derwin, how are you feeling about all this?
I mean, I do not love the fact that everything is getting consolidated into like a few monopolies, but what can you do about it if the government doesn't stand up and deny these mergers?
I mean, but this isn't a merger though, because it's just
it's an acquisition, but
it's an acquisition, but it's not like the company that's buying is Microsoft and they're already into the video games and now they're consolidating. It's a company that's not involved in that, that's buying that to try and get into it, right?
Yeah, but the Saudi fund already has its hands in so many things, right? So
they're not like...
Not in one industry, yes, but still, its hands are in a lot of
games. Yeah, they have their hands in video games. And they're shareholders on a lot of companies, but it's not like they're the primary calling the shots and they haven't like taken a company and privatized it. I just think it's clear, like, if they're overpaying for EA, and if Jared Kushner's been brought on board just to get this thing to go through the Trump administration, kind of sounds greasy, sounds like corruption, sounds like they're overpaying. Why are they overpaying for this company? It's just a culture thing. They have money to spend, and like I said in the last episode, they just want to culture wash the entire, like, view of their country. You know what I mean? You do that enough, then people don't care. Let's go to Saudi Arabia to do this. Let's go to Saudi Arabia to do that, right? That's the whole idea. It's like, let's make it cool. I don't think they need the money. I don't think this investment is strictly, I'm sure they want to make money back, but I'm sure not. This investment isn't strictly based on financial reasons, like Microsoft's, for example, acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Yeah. It sounds greasy. It just sounds greasy. And I think all of that is fine. Let it be greasy. I don't care. But it's the workers. They're going to get burnt. The people are going to get laid off. It's going to be ugly. There's no way around it. Like with the amount of money they have to
now recruit
to like come up with to first do this purchase and then, make sure they're profitable. What was it, the $20 billion debt too or something like that EA is carrying?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it goes through. I mean, I'm sure it's probably going to go through, but the aftermath will be seen. We'll see if it's like an Xbox type of aftermath or if they do good and push out, I guess, new titles, new property. We'll see.
You wanted to make a bet on it? What do you think?
I don't want to make a bet on anything with this. It sounds terrible, but
yeah,
I do not have real high hopes on the result of this.
Yeah. I mean, EA has had one of their biggest launches this last week, Battlefield 6. It is currently the all-time highest concurrent player count of any Battlefield game on Steam. Or not Battlefield game, any EA game on Steam. It overtook Apex Legends, which had a peak 624,000. It's sitting at 747,000 peak concurrent players. It's peaked higher than any Call of Duty game on Steam. And it is reportedly sold 7 million copies in 3 days, which is the biggest launch in the series history. So, yeah, maybe not a bad time to buy. Even though this deal, I think, doesn't go through until 2027.
Yeah, I think it's regardless. It seems like Battlefield 6 was just a solid game in general.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a bit. There's one person that's happy about all this. Glenn Schofield has gone on to just call the new owners, who aren't the new owners yet, reportedly.
Yeah.
To just say, hey, I could save you $30-40 million on an idea. Let me make Dead Space 4. So Glenn Schofield is one of the principal creators, if not the creator, of the Dead Space series. He used to work at EA.
He's an opportunist.
He is an opportunist. So he was the executive producer on Dead Space 2008, the first one. But he actually had no part in Dead Space 2 or 2013. He went on to work at Sledgehammer Games at Activision, who he was talking smack about this week too, basically saying every game Sledgehammer Games has made after he's left has been bad. He worked on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Did he also work on Callisto Protocol?
Yes. So after he left Activision Blizzard, he created what was the studio called? For Striking Distance. Yeah, Striking Distance 2023. Worked on Callisto Protocol, which was supposed to be like the Dead Space revive, right? Callisto Protocol came out to middling reviews. It was not great, and to just what do you call it? To make things worse, it came out about a month or two, if I recall correctly, before Dead Space Remake.
Yes.
And Dead Space Remake was way better. Of course, it's just a remake, but it was way better. He couldn't match Dead Space, right? With Callisto Protocol, it was not great. Even though that game looked kind of appealing to me in its marketing kind of whole cycle. And then he proceeded to leave the studio he started, Striking Distance. Since then, they made like that that Callisto Protocol spin-off, top-down roguelike thing.
Yeah, top-down, weird.
Yeah. And then he was previously on record saying he asked EA if he could go back and make another Dead Space or whatever, and they basically turned him down.
Yeah, so now he's trying again.
I feel like he is talking a lot of smack. Like, I mean, you had your chance. You made your own studio. You made Callisto Protocol, right? That was all all the things kind of lined up, and it didn't work out. I don't know about like.
I mean, he has all the assets now in the Dead Space remake. I mean, it probably isn't very hard to use those same assets and retell more of the story, I guess. Or sorry, tell a new story, not retell.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the new owners give him a shot. So, some bad news coming out of Remedy this week. The Control Studio issues profit warning due to weak sales of FBC Firebreak. This is coming from reported by Andy Robinson from VGC. So Remedy Entertainment came out with Firebreak in June of this year. It's the PvE first-person shooter set in the Control universe. It was both on Game Pass and PS Plus Extra day one. Didn't sell very good, presumably. Its player count is not high on Steam. It had 2,000 concurrent at launch and it's dropped to less than 100 since. They tried to revamp the thing with a big update. Didn't go great. Had middling reviews. And now they've warned investors that they will be taking a 14.9 million euro hit, which represents the majority of the video game development and publishing. I am kind of worried about this because Remedy also notoriously did not make their money back from Alan Wake 2 until, what, was it like a calendar year after it came out? Till they said it was profitable, which is concerning. I mean, they make great games, but I don't know if this endeavor was worth it. Sometimes I do question why a studio who makes very good single-player games would choose to like dip their toes in this. I know the idea of making profit from a multiplayer game is so appealing, like a Helldivers 2, but the risk is so high because the inverse is you don't even make your money back, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all know my thoughts on FPC Firebreak. I thought it looked terrible, but
yeah. I thought it was. I thought it looked okay. I only tried it once, so
yeah,
that's unfortunate.
I feel like a lot of people just tried it once.
It sounds like it. Now, in the same light of things, or on the same note, I am kind of concerned about this next news story because Quantic Dream has revealed that their next game is also a multiplayer game. It is a 3v3 strategy action game called Spellcasters Chronicles.
Looks very generic.
I don't know, man. I'm not now. For those who don't know, Quantic Dream is like the narrative adventure development studio that made things like Detroit Become Human, which I have never played personally, but I've only heard good things
great.
about.
Yeah, it's great. It's a very good storytelling game.
Yeah, my brother-in-law loves that game. He's like played it religiously, like multiple times. Got multiple endings.
Yeah.
And most famously, their last game that they revealed is actually still not out, which is Star Wars Eclipse, which I believe they showed at like the 2021 or 2022 Game Awards. We've heard nothing since. Apparently, there was a news story that they said, oh, this thing is like so far out. It's like a 2028 title or something like that.
Is that one also a multiplayer Star Wars game?
No. It's like a narrative Star Wars game. It's like Detroit Become Human.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was worried about this when I first saw this news, but then they released a statement in a blog post saying, like, don't worry, like Star Wars Eclipse is still in development, and this hasn't hindered the development of the game because apparently they opened a new studio to work on this multiplayer game in Montreal.
Yeah. And I think this game was in collaboration with like NetEase, right?
This new game?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, very risky for a studio that does like narrative-based games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and stuff like that to just go into multiplayer. It's crazy that these stories back to back. It's like, I don't know. Did you just say FBC Firebreak? Do you really want to risk development time on this?
Oh yeah, NetEase acquired Quantic Dream for 100
that's
million
true. That
euros.
is right.
That was 2 years ago. So this is very much more like a NetEase game. Yeah. I remember. I remember seeing something about that. But yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really want to see what the Star Wars Eclipse game is, but it's been so long since they announced it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's turn our attention towards some Sony news. Sucker Punch has been discussing kind of the future of their company. Talked about the potential for DLC for Ghost of Yotei. They said that they're going to leave it up to the players, which I don't know what that means. Basically, like if enough people say, "Hey, we want a single player DLC," they'll make it. They're working on their multiplayer Ghost of Yotei Legends mode, which is going to come out early next year. But they have mentioned that they are a single project studio. They're not interested in juggling things. They think it spreads them too thin. They can't do that. They're like, we have to focus one thing at a time. They're like, Ghost of Yotei's out. we're going to do Legends, and the next thing is yet to be seen. But we can't be doing like, we'll do a remaster here, we'll do this and that, because people have obviously been asking. Because aside from the Ghost of Tsushima Yotei franchise, they do have the Infamous franchise, they do have the Sly franchise. The reason why I think this is really interesting, because they did say, quote unquote, the truth is that whatever we do next, whether it's continuing Ghost or going back to Sly, the decision is really more limited by, again, our cherishing of focus and time to iterate, which means that we really can only do one thing at a time. This is from the studio head, Brian Fleming. So I'm excited for this because I don't know if you know, Derwin, I'm a major Sly Cooper fan from the PS2 days. And going back to that franchise sounds with like new graphics and new art design, even though the art style was so beautiful back then in the PS2, I am really excited for that thought. Whatever it is, whether it's a Sly 1, 2, and 3 kind of remake bundle, I don't care. I'm really excited to see, with a few like gameplay, I don't know how much interest there is in that. I don't know if they would do something like that.
I don't know. I feel like he maybe dropped that just to pull a comparison. I don't think it's actuality.
I really hope there's something there, man. I really hope so. Have you played any of their previous franchises?
I have never played any of the Sly Coopers. Infamous, I think I started up to play, but didn't really get too far. But that one's like more of an open world, like superhero one, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played Infamous. I actually in the PS. I never had a PS3, so a lot of the PS3 era franchises that came up and went away, I never actually got a chance to play with. I didn't play Uncharted until later. It got ported to the PS4. That's when I played it. I never played the Resistance games from Insomniac. I never played the Infamous games, so never really played Killzone. So a lot of the PS3 era video games I kind of missed out. But then the PS2 franchises that a lot of these companies developed, like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, I played a lot of. So, and yeah, big Sly Cooper fan. Definitely up there from one of my top 10 games of all time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm torn between Sly 2 and Sly 3. Sly 2 is everyone's favorite. But I played Sly 3 first, so I don't know. It holds a special place in my heart. But I love those games, man. So much charisma, so much charm.
Would you want to see a remake or a remaster of 3? So you get a choice of remaking 1 or you remaster all 3?
1 is probably the weakest entry. 1 is
Sorry, how about a brand new story or whatever? Just basically from the ground up. It could be like a complete remake. It could be a complete new story. It could be a complete retelling. Whatever you want. Basically just a brand new with 100% new polish, or the remake of 3 games.
I would take the brand new.
Remaster.
I'd take the brand new. I take the brand new game.
Like the full Ratchet and Clank treatment, basically.
Like you're talking Ratchet and Clank 2016, or you're talking Rift Apart?
Rift Apart more akin to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You would prefer that. All right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I would love to see that. Those games, those Sly Cooper games have aged well, in my opinion. I could go back and play them whenever, right? At least for me. I played them recently. I don't know anymore. Time's kind of
maybe you need to actually boot it up and look at it first.
Recently might have been 5 years ago.
Because some people might be like, oh yeah, that game was looked so good, I could replay it again, and then you actually boot it up and you're like, oh. They've gotten so used to the quality of life things, like the actual newer graphics, that might not be the same as you remember it.
I definitely booted it up on the PS4. That's for sure. On the PlayStation Now, if you remember that service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Derwin, speaking of potential games coming from first-party Sony studios, there's been a job posting for Blue Point Games. The ad listing says they want a senior combat designer, and that has a solid understanding of combat systems and mechanics for third-person melee action adventures. At least 5 years of professional experience in combat design. So famously, Blue Point Games came out with Demon's Souls remake, got acquired by Sony after that, was working on supposedly a new IP, but it wasn't really a new IP. It was this live service God of War game. Got canceled late last year. been working on something new. So this job posting is alluding to the fact that potentially it's a return to form. Are we going to get a brand new third-person game from them? Are we going to get a remake? Is Bloodborne going to get the Demon Souls treatment? Right? So I really hope so. I really think so. Especially from Blue Point Games. That would be a good game. But yeah, maybe a return to form. Finally, we could ditch this live service stuff. Probably not, but yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Have you played Demon Souls Remake? I know you're not a big From Software fan.
Nope. They're too hard. I've got no time for that.
Well, what you do have time for is 100%ing everything Horizon Zero Dawn and then 100%ing it again when a freaking...
but the game is just all right. The game is just all right.
And then the game is it's all right. But Tencent and Sony are at it again. I don't really want to go down this rabbit hole of what they've been accusing each other.
Yeah. Yes, the story.
Tencent was like, recently they're like, oh, but we delayed the game to 2027, so it shouldn't have any damage on your...
Yeah.
Like,
and it's a completely different game now.
Yeah. But some good news kind of came out of all this because there are court documents that reveal that the Horizon Zero Dawn movie is planned for 2027.
Yeah, and like filming is going to start like 2026 or something like that.
Something of the sort. Derwin, which redhead in Hollywood do you want to play Aloy?
I think the girl from Stranger Things was like the best choice. What was her name? She plays Max in Stranger Things. Sadie Sink.
Sadie Sink.
Yes. Or you know who I really want?
I mean, I know who I really want.
Or are you going to say Bella Ramsey?
No. I'm not going to say that.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think Sadie Sink is a very good choice.
That's a good casting.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah, there was like rumors for it, and I was like very happy with the choice.
She's like the right age. She's got like very similar features to her. Yeah, that's a good one. I was just gonna pick the one that I like the most. Who I don't know if she's would really fit as a Aloy or even looks like an Aloy, but she's got red hair.
Okay, and who is that?
I was gonna say Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, I guess you haven't played it, but Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West, Aloy has a clone.
Okay,
so maybe we can get both.
Yeah.
In the next installment, one can be older.
All right, okay. This topic is deviating too much. But yeah, I mean, not a bad idea. I thought like that Sadie Sink. I've never seen her before, but now I'm looking at pictures. Like, I don't know how she acts, of course, but like just physically, looks wise, she meets I think she fits the role. I should probably play these Horizon games, man. They've been ever eternally on my backlog. I just feel like they're too long to beat that I don't want to freaking spend the time.
No way. They're not that long. If I can play it that many times, you can play it once. Let's be real here.
Yeah, but so Horizon Zero Dawn is 29 hours to complete, 76 hours to 100%. Still a commitment. And
you got to play the DLC too. There's Frozen.
Oh yeah,
Frozen
I was looking at the complete edition.
Okay, so
time. So
that
factors in the
that.
DLC. Yeah, Forbidden West, dude. That's looking big. So I remember at the time when Horizon came out, the second Horizon came out, I tried to like play the first one before the second one came out, and I started.
You didn't get very far.
I didn't get very far, and then Elden Ring came out first, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm like, oh, this is going to take priority. Derwin, are you excited to go to one of these PlayStation concerts?
Why? Because they're all canceled.
They're all canceled.
I'm going to show up at the empty venue and be like, what?
Yeah, they're getting canceled everywhere. Poland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Italy, Austria. There was ones that were planned for May 2025 that got pushed back to March 2026. That got canceled. The 2025 North America tours in Atlanta, Cleveland, Detroit, Charlotte, New York, Reading, Washington, D.C., Grand Rapids, Huntsville, Chicago, Boston, and Philly all got canceled. I actually heard this concert wasn't that great. A lot of it was like pre.
So do you think it's more like a ticketing purchase issue more so than like being able to find the talent to do it then?
Yeah. Look, dude, you could go search up some of these dates that are still active and see how many seats are sold out. Nobody's buying these. Nobody's going to them.
Yeah.
They have like huge venues. Like I'm looking at this one from a venue in Hungary. And like this is a huge venue. It must be like a sports arena or something. Dude, it's like not even a quarter full.
Jeez, that's
Yeah,
rough.
like nobody's buying these. Nobody wants to go to this. I think maybe the venues that they chose were much larger than the demand was. And I honestly heard the ones that already happened were not great. It was like pre-recorded music and stuff like that.
Oh,
not
that's
all the
not what you want to hear.
no, that's not what you want to hear in an orchestra. Yeah, which sucks, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Derwin, let's just touch up a little bit on Nintendo. There's been like rumors. I mean, this is probably the worst kept story ever of Assassin's Creed Shadows coming to Switch 2. I mean, I'm just gonna bring it up now. It still hasn't been officially revealed or even recognized from Ubisoft, but they're saying it's gonna be a game key card coming out December 5th. Both digital, physical editions. It's gonna be.
I'm sure we'll hear it
looks
on the next Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
at this rate.
like. Yeah, it's happening. I mean, there've been rumors about it for like weeks now, and Ubisoft hasn't confirmed, but it seems like it's going to go through. Yeah, man, that Switch, it's selling like crazy. They're apparently gearing up to manufacture more because it is exceeding what Nintendo's sales predictions were. So they've already they think that by the end of the fiscal year, it's going to be 20 million sales of the console, and originally Nintendo's prediction was 15 million. And yeah, it's just going up from there. They're increasing production. So people are buying this thing. I don't know,
I'm not
Derwin.
surprised. I'm sure the
I am
Pokemon
actually
ZA or ZA might have pushed some people to buy it as well because it looks like it runs terribly on the original Switch. So if you're looking for a better experience, then Switch 2. The Switch 2 one looks smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth, like butter. But the
Derwin,
original Switch, choppy.
Derwin, speaking of ZTA, are you getting in that or what? Are you trying that? Are you playing that?
I will be starting it, I think, next week.
Okay.
So I will come back and I will tell you how fabulous Mega Form Starmie is.
Oh
She's
my
got
God.
legs. She's got legs, baby.
I saw that video. That was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I wanna have like a Switch 2, like maybe end of year or first year review with you or something. We just do a little spin-off episode because
Of all
like
the
mine's
games that we
collecting
haven't
dust.
played.
Mine's collecting dust, dude. And I don't know. Like Hyrule Warriors, I'm interested in that. Do I want to dish out $100 for it? I don't think
There's
so.
only one way to play it, though, so you will have to.
Yeah, but it's with all everything coming out at around that release window. Like, there's other games I want to play for less money, and then like Metroid Prime, I it's not looking good, bro.
What do you mean?
Like, if that Metroid Prime 4 game comes out and I don't know,
It's not
sure.
going to do bad.
You think so? It's not.
I
looking good, bro.
really don't think it'll do bad.
I'm not sure, man.
It's a Prime game. There's no chance. Even if it does poorly, people are still going to buy it.
I mean, if something is objectively poorly, let's be honest. I think Nintendo gets like a boost from all these like Nintendo fanboys that these. Like, here's the thing. I'm not accusing critics of like lying about how good a game is just so Nintendo doesn't excommunicate them. But here's my issue with video game reviews on big outlets. They have a bunch of people on their team and they give somebody to review the game, but the person that is reviewing the game is more often than not the person that's already so heavily invested in that thing and is such a fanboy of that thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's already going to be a confirmation bias bonus. And I think that happens a lot with Sony reviews. It happens a lot with Nintendo reviews. I feel like a lot. I feel like an objectively 65 Metacritic game that's a first-party Nintendo Switch game is going to get like a 75, right?
Yeah.
I think
that happened a lot with the Pokemon Z to A. There's so many outlets giving it a 10 out of 10. And I'm like, I really don't think this is a 10 out of 10 based on like all the gameplay I've seen.
Yeah, like it seems like crazy stuff. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there might have been a little bit of that with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm curious to see as time passes and the dust settles how people feel about it. Because when it came out, everybody was talking about Game of the Year. They were talking about potentially.
Oh no, I definitely don't think it's Game of the Year.
I know you
didn't
played
finish it. I finished it, but my other friend also didn't finish it. So
yeah, it was not for me. I mean, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was anything like. I'm sure it's a good game. The reasons for me not finishing it are mostly because my kid had no interest after a while and got pissed off every time I would put it on. And he's like, "No, Astra Bot." So, that was one reason. And then playing it by myself, I just look, it's just too much of a headache. But anyway, I've talked enough about Donkey Kong Bonanza on this. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like Mario Kart, the dust is settling on that, and I'm just like, geez, bro, is that really a good game? Was that really worth $100? Like Sonic Cross Worlds Racing sounds like it's a much better entry into the whole kart racer genre. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's I think it's because it is branded as Mario Kart, you know?
Oh, for sure. Last little Nintendo story that we got this week was that there is a manga based on Masahiro Sakurai's life, and it's out next month. It's a 160-page biographical comic. I don't know if you saw this. It looks really cute. I don't know if it's just in Japanese, if we could buy an English version. Yeah. It's got 6 chapters, Young Sakurai in games, the birth of Kirby, the birth of Super Smash Bros. I mean, that's another game we haven't talked about, Kirby Air Riders. Like, how's that going to come out? The founding of Sora, legacy, a beacon of the future.
We'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Are you gonna pick up this comic?
I don't know if I'd be. It depends on how much it is and if it's even readable. Because why am I gonna buy something I can't read?
Good point. We got some sad news this week about the passing of Tomonobu Itagaki, who is the Dead and Alive creator, Team
Dead
Ninja founder. What's that?
It's Dead or Alive, right?
Yeah, Dead or Alive, sorry.
Yeah, what did I say? Bikini fighter.
Yeah, the bikini fighter. He's the founder of Team Ninja. He's kind of the person who rebooted Ninja Gaiden with Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2. Very high acclaim for the developer. He joined Tecmo in the 1990s, produced the first 4 Dead or Alive games, Dead or Alive Ultimate, Extreme Beach Volleyball, etc. Worked on the first 2 Ninja Gaidens. He left Tecmo, I believe, in 2008. There was some kind of scandal thing going on. No need to bring it up, but he went on to form his own studio. He had that controversial Wii U game. I can't remember what it was called. Let me search it up.
Is it Devil's Third?
I think that's it. Yeah, Devil's Third. Didn't have good reviews in 2015. And he was also credited on Samurai Jack's Battle Through Time. Seems like his video game development output slowed out, but unfortunately he's passed this week at the age of 58. I believe he leaves a wife and a daughter. Yeah. So kind of sad day for the video game world, especially Japanese developers. Especially here, we're on the kind of eve of another kind of Ninja Gaiden reboot with Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out here in a few days. So sad news there. There's been a lot of other kind of studio head video game developer news this week, including the former Assassin's Creed boss, who Ubisoft reported earlier this week that he resigned, but he went on the record to correct them and said he did not walk away from Assassin's Creed, but he said he was asked to step aside by Ubisoft. Basically, according to him, his name is Mark Alexis Cote. I'm not sure how to pronounce that in French. I'm sorry. He says actually he was offered a role at this new Vantage studio, but he said the leadership role that he was offered at this subsidiary, the Vantage is the subsidiary from Tencent that Ubisoft has spun off. He said that the position they were offering him seemed to have less responsibility. It was less higher up, less kind of creative freedom. And so he felt like he was basically being pushed out, and he decided to leave. So I just went on record to correct that. And then we got even more video game devs leaving. The Banjo-Kazooie director leaves Rare. I think this was already known. He was already going to leave Rare, but it looks like he didn't leave immediately. This is after Everwild got canceled. He stuck around for a few months, I think, maybe closing some stuff off. So he posted, I'm sorry, I guess I didn't say his name, Greg Mayles, posted on Twitter. So he's been at Rare for 36 years. Crazy stuff. And in addition, the Halo art director left the studio after 17 years, leaving this weird message talking about how you have the freedom to choose. I know the state of our industry seems dire, but never forget who you are. Promise of wealth, fame, or power is not worth trading away your health and dignity for, etc., etc. And then the final little piece of news was the sound director at who worked on the original Mortal Kombat series has left the studio also after 30 some years. So Lots of that this week. But that's it for news stories this week, Derwin. We've been playing a few things. I've been playing a few things. You've been playing a few things. Let's get into it, brother. Do you want to kick this off, or shall I?
Sure, I can quickly go through what I've kind of been playing on the side. Not so much anymore because Ghost of Yotei has consumed my life. And
so do you want to? Maybe we start with Ghost of Yotei. Just talk about it shortly, and then we can get into this. Yeah.
Sure. I'm on the second, or no, I guess technically the third, Yotei 6. I am 40 hours deep in the game. So, clearly not doing any of the actual story and just getting lost in this beautiful, beautiful world.
Yeah, I'm the same here.
I've taken so many screenshots. I've unlocked all the primary melee weapons.
Oh, nice.
I personally think dual katana is like the best one.
Really?
So far. And in general, it's just been fun, like collecting all the outfits and collecting that drip.
Yeah, it's a Zen game. I find it very Zen.
And as you're chopping up a bunch of enemies.
As you're like chopping up a bunch of heads, but you're just going from point to point or whatever. I do feel like this story in this game, the main story, does not feel like it's a time pressure sensitive story. Like, I find there's like a disconnect in some open world games where you're doing like these story missions and they seem so dire, and it's like, yeah, the thing that makes logical sense is now to move on to the next part of the story, right? Like, it's getting really deep, it's getting really epic, we have to keep going. And then it's like, I finish a main mission story and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do like F around over here for 2 hours. It like makes no sense. Whereas this game, the pace of the story, actually I feel like naturally allows you to just be like, all right, now I'm going to just F around for a few hours before I proceed to continue with the main story.
Because, I mean, you've already wasted 15 years of your life down south in mainland Japan.
Yeah.
What's another few hours of effing around on a mountain?
Yeah, there doesn't seem like to be any urgency for Atsu to, like, do her kind of mission.
And there are other forces opposing the Yotei 6 anyways.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
they're in conflict. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we are far enough to comment on the story.
No. Zero progress on the story since last week.
So far, the side content is actually very fun. I don't think I've ever been like dreading it. And I'm actually like enjoying tackling all of the little things.
I enjoy tackling the little things. I enjoy tackling the medium-sized things. I enjoy tackling the large things. I enjoy randomly finding somebody who then becomes a quest giver because you had a random conversation with them. Or randomly finding someone who gives you... Like, there was this weird guy that was camped out in Ishikari Plain, and I just went and talked to him, and he like sold me this mask. And this mask opened up a whole new quest up in like... What's the place after Todachi Ridge?
Teshio Ridge or something
something like that.
Yeah, the Two-Face mask.
The Two-Face mask. It's like weird stuff like that just happens, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you're vibing.
I'm vibing. I love this game. This is for sure going to be top 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
What else have you been playing?
Yes.
What else?
So prior to this, Dave the Diver has been on my ROG Ally. ROG Ally has been taking a back seat, as I was alluding to. This is also another Zen game. It's a roguelike. You play as a diver that is getting back into diving, and you dive during the day. You catch fish, and then you run a sushi restaurant at night.
Yeah.
There's some wacky stories about sea people, which are just basically mermaids. As a side quest, there's DLC that I haven't really touched at all, but there's like the Godzilla DLC, which I'm super excited to get into once I get that far. And then like the whole Ichiban, like a Dragon DLC, I'm kind of looking forward to because it seems like that is such a good fit. And yeah, honestly, I kind of like running the sushi restaurant. You basically hire people to do things. It almost feels like this whole game could be a spin-off in Like a Dragon. Because you know how there are a lot of mini games that are really kind of like time consuming. in Like a Dragon. I remember the one where you basically run like is it a hotel or something like that franchise in Like a Dragon. So yeah, it almost feels like that, and yeah, just very low risk. You can die, it's fine. You just come up and you just dive again.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, so a great handheld game. It is meant to be played handheld, I feel.
This game has been kind of on my wish list for a while. I just haven't made the time to play it. I think it's on PlayStation Plus Extra, and I meant to play it that way. But now since you've been talking about handheld, I'm thinking maybe I'll just wish list this on Steam and see how much it is.
Yeah, I think I got it for like $12 or something like that, and it's worth every single dollar because I've definitely played more than 12 hours.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, for all of my Taiwan trip basically and Korea trip, I would play this like before I went to bed.
So it's kind of long. Does it have like an end game?
Yes, there is a story, but I feel like you could realistically play this forever because it does get randomized. There are certain fish that like basically spawn in the same location, I've noticed. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of fun. There's certain quests that you can do, which just revolves around catching certain fish and serving certain fish for the restaurant. Yeah, I don't think it has the same. Well, it might be a little bit too early to say. I don't think it has the same replayability as Stardew Valley, which is also another comfy, cozy game. But it is, I think, a little bit more engaging in terms of, farming can get a little bit boring and stuff like that.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I've tried Stardew Valley before, but some of those games are just not for me.
I love Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely a cozy game, and it's worth it. In general, like I would probably pay full price for this, and I'm glad I actually went back to pick it up.
Maybe I'll try it on PlayStation Plus Extra and then see how it feels before buying it.
Yeah,
on handheld.
And honestly, the cutscenes are great.
Nice.
They're so like ridiculous, especially when you're like just preparing, like learning a new dish and making it for the first time. Bansho, which is your like sushi chef, has like this cutscene of him like in under a sakura tree, like meditating, and then he gets the inspiration and starts like cooking. It's a little bit cool. Outrageous, but it's kind of cool.
This one came out in 23, right? Or was it 24?
I think it was 23. Let me just double check. But it is an older game, especially with all the DLC. 23, yep. Mint Rocket. I wonder, is this a Korean developer? Oh, it's owned by Nexon, which is also the owners of MapleStory.
Yeah. There was the big controversial Game Awards thing where it got nominated for Indie Game of the Year, but it actually is not indie at all. It's only indie in style, but yes, it is from an actual big publisher, yeah.
Oh, there's a manga based on it. Interesting.
Nice. So
well, anyways, that's a little bit of a deeper dive. I definitely won't be going that deep.
Okay, Derwin, Dave the Diver, anything else you want to talk about?
I'll save our Hades 2 for when you get a little bit further.
Yeah, like I think I talked last week. I've been playing Hades 2 as well, and I played Silent Hill F. I'll be frank with you, both of those have kind of taken a pause ever since Ghost of Yotei and Battlefield 6, which I'll talk about here, came out. I was still finding time for both of them when Ghost of Yotei came out, but with Battlefield 6, it's like it's one or the other, right?
Yeah, you can't juggle that many things.
Yeah, so I'll put a pause in Hades 2 and Silent Hill F. I just kind of want to see the end first, maybe after I finish the first playthrough I'll talk about. So we'll leave that to another week. But was there anything else, or should I talk about the...
Go ahead. I want to hear about Battlefield 6.
Okay, well, before Battlefield 6, I got a lot to say about Battlefield 6, so maybe I talk about the game that came out yesterday that I played about a couple hours of. Okay. So Keeper, which is the next game from Double Fine, came out yesterday onto Xbox Game Pass, which thankfully I still have a month left of my subscription or like a few days left of my subscription.
It's also out on Steam. I saw that.
Yes, correct. But this is one of the ones that is actually an Xbox exclusive. It's not on Switch or PlayStation just yet.
Yeah. It's a $40 game, so not as or 40 Canadian.
Yeah. So from the top, this game got announced this year. It immediately became apparent to me in the marketing that this game was going to be a much smaller scale compared to Double Fine's last game, which was my top 5 of 2021. That is Psychonauts 2. I loved Psychonauts 2, adored that game. one of the first games I played on my series console when I bought it. I am kind of disappointed that after 4 years since that game, this is kind of their next entry. It is smaller in scale. Like, I have no problem with small games. I love bite-sized games. I love indie games. But because they were capable of making a really good 3D platformer, like, to me, it's like the last few years, it's been like Astrobot, Psychonauts 2 right behind it. So I was kind of disappointed in that. But of course, I said, you know what? Keep it positive. Go into this game. It's Double Fine, a developer I like. See what they have cooking here. So it is a much shorter game from what I'm understanding. And based on the trophies, I'm already about a third into it. And I've only played about an hour and a half. So I hear it's really short. So Keeper is one of those kind of art housey games where there is no dialogue at all. It's silent. The art style feels kind of claymation, but it's not claymation. The colors and the shape of things do look a little like South of Midnight, I would say, but it's not that stop motion thing. You play as a lighthouse that comes to life in this decrepit kind of, post-apocalyptic world that's more on like the beautiful side of things. It's like a nature reclaiming post-apocalyptic world. So you're this decrepit lighthouse that kind of springs off from its base and has these tiny little spider legs that walks around. You're accompanied by this bird companion that sits and hovers on top of your head. And really, for lack of a better word, it's a walking simulator with some light puzzles. You just kind of traverse your way through this environment. Your bird reacts to specific things. You're kind of exploring the way this world is shifting and turning. There's obviously a story there to uncover. I haven't uncovered it yet. There's no exact dialogue. The only real game mechanic is you have this, your light, because you're a lighthouse, of course, kind of moves around and you could get it to focus on specific things in the environment, which you use to solve puzzles. There really isn't any side content. There's like collectibles in this game. There's 12 of them, and that's all 12 trophies that this game has, is just collecting those collectibles. I'll be frank with you, an hour and a half in, I cannot recommend this game to anybody. I do want to see it to the end before I make a final judgment. But if this game was any longer than the time that I know it's going to take, I probably would stop about now. It's not really engaging me. I don't think the combat or the gameplay is engaging enough to keep me interested. And I don't think the story, which is being told in this weird kind of, well, not weird, but in this kind of silent environmental way. It's not like a Limbo or an Inside where, there's no dialogue, but you're still curious to see what's happening because, the environmental storytelling is really interesting. And for games like Limbo and Inside, they are walking sims, but the little puzzles in between are so engaging that it keeps you interested. This is not there. Maybe it gets better, but it's not there just yet in the first hour and a half. The camera is a fixed camera angle that moves based on the scene you're in. So there's no ability to swing the camera around or anything to get a better look of the world. They basically pick where the camera is. Sometimes you'll enter a room and it'll leave a room, and the second time you enter a room, the camera angle will change. The camera angle will follow you the way the game developer designed it to be. Yeah. So I'll see. I mean, it's not long. I think maybe I could beat it tonight.
Oh, wow. 2 sessions, basically. That's crazy.
Probably. I mean, if I played like 3 hours, I'm sure I could get like 3/4 the way in.
Yeah.
And then just play for another. Yeah. Session. It feels like it's going to be 6 hours. Yeah. I'll play it because it's short. Usually if a game is a 70 and it's not a time commitment, I'll play it.
Yeah.
If you're
it's a 78 on Metacritic. I just checked on my phone.
Yeah, it's 78 on Metacritic, which is whatever. It's okay. Yeah. For me, it's always like a time value function. If your game's not great, but it's good and it's short, I can commit that time. If your game is 70 and it's a 150-hour RPG, yeah, I'm not going to play it, right? So, yeah, that's Keeper. I'll report back next week and see how that one kind of plays out. So, yeah, Derwin, do I want to get into the big thing that I've been playing this week?
Yeah, I've been waiting. Okay. I want to hear about Battlefield 6. This is something that I probably will never play, but yeah, go for it.
Let me grab something to drink because I got a lot of things to say about this game. Derwin, the next big entry from the Battlefield series has been out. In the wild, it's been a week since Battlefield 6 dropped. There was no early, early few days access thing with a bundle for some whatever, so everybody got in at the same time. So, of course, I've mentioned on this show that I have been very excited for this game. When the beta came out, both beta weekends, I played a lot of this game, 20 hours, probably in the beta alone over 2 weekends. I got to the max level, did all the challenges or whatever it was available in the beta. So I unlocked a bunch of like unlockables that carry over into the game, skins and stuff like that. After the beta went down, me and my friend group were dying to play more Battlefield. So I got into 2042, which I never played at launch and actually have never played. Notoriously had a bad launch and people didn't like it very much. I played that a lot over the course of the last 2 months. I probably got 50 hours into Battlefield 2042 since the beta of 6 ended.
Purely in multiplayer, though, right?
I don't think 2042 even had a campaign. Yeah, so it's pure. Yeah,
Okay.
I couldn't find one on the menu. So purely multiplayer. Had a lot of fun with that. But now Battlefield 6 is out, the thing we've been waiting for. I am going from the top to say that this discussion is going to sound very, very negative. I'll be quite frank. Whatever I have to say right now is going to sound very negative. I do not feel that way. I just have no other way of describing this besides bringing some of the bad stuff up. But I am enjoying this game and I'm playing it a lot. So don't get the perception that like I think this game is trash. I think the negative elements are things that I've done to myself. It's self-inflicted. Okay? You're going to ask me, how the hell do you make a game negative? How do you self-inflict that on yourself? You just play the game, you like it or not. Historically, I have a tendency to have no like long-term attention span in a multiplayer game. I am a person who I have no idea how people play forever games. I don't know how people play League of Legends for years. I don't know how people play like Warzone or Fortnite or Apex. I have no capability or no interest to play a multiplayer game, even if it's a multiplayer game I really love, for a long duration of time. After a certain point, and that point, depending on how good that game is between the 20, 30-hour mark and the 70-hour mark, I make a conscious decision to drop the game and move on. Because I get to a point where I'm like, I've seen everything there's to see in this game. I've had a lot of fun. I've reached a point where the fun is not as good. It's diminishing returns. I've reached a point where my skill level gain has reached a plateau. Sure, if I played more and I practiced more, I'd get better. But it's going to be incremental improvement from here. I figured out the game mechanics. I understand the maps. I've unlocked a lot of things. I had a lot of fun. But there's some other things pulling my attention. That is me. Marvel Rivals last year, I loved that game. I played it for 30 hours, 40 hours. They've had so many updates since. I have no interest in going back to that. Black Ops 6 from last year, I loved that game. Played it solid for a month. Moved on. They had more updates. You know, over the course of the year, they had the Return to Verdansk for the Battle Royale mode. I don't care. Like, I've moved on. Halo, Halo Infinite notoriously is a failure of a game. And it's a failure of a game because it cannot retain these forever players. For me, I loved Halo Infinite, one of my favorite games of 2021. Played that for a month. That's about it. And I had a lot of fun with it. It was a great time. I don't feel the need to keep doing things over and over again. Sports simulators, every now and then when I get into a FIFA, I'll play it solid for a month or two, move on. I'm not playing FIFA for the whole calendar year. So I did have a fear that if I overplay the beta, and if I overplay 2042, I am going to get disinterested by the time 6 came out. And unfortunately, it has happened. So 6 came out and dropped, and immediately after a week, I'm like, oh, I already played 20 hours of this game in the beta, and I've already played 50 hours of a game very similar to this game in 2042. The release did not hit me the way I thought it would because I burnt myself out, unfortunately. And actually, originally, the intention was to burn myself out more, where we were going to play Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1. That didn't end up happening. We only stuck to 2042, which I did like the whole free battle pass for to get all the unlocks in 6. So that aside, some of the negative things that I might say are frankly because of that. So getting into it, this game is a return to original form. There are no historical set pieces. There are no futuristic set pieces. There are no gimmicks. It's nothing. It's full all-out warfare based in modern warfare, stripped from all the extra stuff. And frankly, I think stripped from all any additional creativity. For some people, that is great. That's what they want. The last 3 Battlefield games, 2042, is in a slightly near futuristic setting. So there's a lot of gadgets and equipment and weapons and stuff like that in that game that are futuristic, that are not of this current, age. So they took some liberties there. Battlefield 5 is a World War II game. Battlefield 1 is a World War I game. So the last few Battlefield games have been kind of different. This is kind of a return to a 4 or a 3, which I didn't play a lot of, to be frank with you. So it is what we're getting. Like, you're getting normal guns. There's no weird guns. There's no old, outdated guns. There's no futuristic guns. The classes are pretty straightforward. Like the last in 2042, you get there's different versions of each class that have a different bonus. Like there was, each recon had a weird different ability with a different piece of technology and gadget. This is more bare bones. You have your assault class, you have your support class, you have your engineer class, and you have your recon class. Very straightforward. There's previously in Battlefield, you can get different variants of each of those classes with different gimmicks and different bonuses. I haven't unlocked any of those yet, but there seems to only be one additional one. Assault class feels great. Pretty straightforward. It feels like the little tweaks they've given it is perfect for this class. I do feel stronger when I'm assault class. You run with assault rifles on this, and you get a tertiary, not a secondary sidearm, but a tertiary where you can run a shotgun, which feels really good. It's kind of broken. Or you could run a carbine rifle or whatever, anything of the sort. Straightforward. It's all about adrenaline, the adrenaline shot, running into places, rushing, trying to capture objectives faster. Feels great. The recon class, sort of the same thing. You're just sniping. You're spotting players. Also feels great. The big change between this and 2042 is they've switched the primary weapon of the support and engineer classes. So the support class used to run with an SMG, and the support class is really the medic class. It's for healing people and for supplying teammates. The engineer class is all about repairing vehicles and damaging vehicles, right? They've switched their primary firearms. So now the engineer class actually has the SMG, and the support class has the heavier LMG. I did not like that change in the beta. When I played 2042, it was nice because it was exactly where it was. I wanted to play engineer and I had an LMG. I liked it. Going into this, actually, I've kind of changed my mind. I actually like this change. I think it's kind of cool having the SMG as an engineer. By the way, none of these classes are actually weapon locked. You could put a sniper on an engineer, for example, but you just get a bonus from using the right weapon class.
Oh, okay. So there's a weapon proficiency bonus. Yeah.
Exactly. So you could do whatever you want. There's guys who are assaults that are running snipers and stuff like that. But you get you get better aim down sight speed or better reload speed if you're using this, or you have less recoil or headshot, whatever it is, right? So I like this. I'm primarily an engineer class in this game, as I was in the last one. All about following our own team vehicles, supporting them, repairing them, hopping into gun when I need to, hopping out, and then also on the offensive, planting landmines where I think I could take out enemy vehicles, hitting them with the RPGs, trying to take out their engineers. That's the way I like playing. But I've been pretty diverse. I tried sniping. Sniping did not feel good at the beginning. I was complete trash, but I feel like I got the hang of it now. And assault feels great. I love assault. It feels excellent. And then support also, medic class. Not exactly my thing. It used to be my thing in Battlefield 1 and 5, but still, I'll do it if the team needs it. So it feels great, but the thing I want to emphasize is it feels a little uninspired, quite frankly. But I can't not take a knock on that because that's what they're going for. It's not a historical set piece, so you're not really getting anything weird. And it's not a futuristic kind of game, so you're not getting anything weird from that end. You're just getting bare bones, this is literally this. I mean, the whole joke with the outfits being based in, actual military gear. They were making fun of Call of Duty for having Nicki Minaj running around with a gun and stuff like that.
yeah, or Gundam or something like that.
Yeah, which I supported initially. I'm like, wait, great. But now that I'm in the game, I'm like, holy smokes, these outfits are so freaking boring. They're so boring. The best ones I have are the ones that I unlocked because I did the 2042 free battle pass and I did the challenges in the open beta. The other ones I've unlocked, I'm like, oh, this is horrendous.
It's like, oh, it's another camo or something like that.
Yeah, they're uninspired, they're boring. They're obviously it's the tanks, the vehicles, it's all this kind of same thing. So anyway, for the actual gameplay, unfortunately, I have to report that the best maps in this game were the beta maps. Nothing additional that has come out since this game is out. None of the new maps that we didn't try in the beta are better than the beta maps. Siege of Cairo, Iberian Assault, the one that's Brooklyn, I think in Brooklyn, not the Olympia one, that new one, but that one's also okay. The one in Tajikistan, they were freaking great, okay? These new maps, I do not think live up to them, which is very unfortunate because it's like there's no surprise element. It's like it adds to the feeling of, oh, you already played this game. Because the maps I played on, I already have played on, right?
Yeah,
I'm really
they
unfortunate.
didn't save anything for like the actual launch per se for a killer map.
There is no killer map, unfortunately. And to add more insult to injury, Battlefield 2042 had some horrendous maps, but they had one map which was better than every single map in this game, and we played it a lot. That's Iwo Jima Ridge, which I know is actually a Battlefield 5 map because Iwo Jima Ridge is a famous battle in World War II. American assault on a Japanese island, but they just added it to 2042. Iwo Jima Ridge slaps any map in this game. It's way better than any map in this game. To add more insult to injury, favorite as a group, the favorite game mode was Breakthrough. On 2042, Breakthrough was the game mode to play. Breakthrough feels horrendous on 50% of the maps in this game. There is Breakthrough on 2 maps that it's not even playable. The New York map, which I can't remember exactly what it was, the first point on that map, absolutely horrendous. There's that Marak Valley, which is another Tajikistan map. The first 2 points on that, absolutely horrendous. So let me explain. The 2 main kind of game modes is Conquest and Breakthrough. Conquest is you have a bunch of little points on the map, and you have to go and capture them. It's kind of like King of the Hill, right? But you go in, or Domination, you go and capture these points, and the more time you're on the points, the slower your death counter ticks. The other team's death counter ticks faster. So you just want to hold as much points as possible. So you just kind of keep moving around the map. Breakthrough is not that. Breakthrough is attack, defend. There's an attacking team, defending team. The attacking team has to capture the points that they're attacking. It's usually either 1 point or 2 points. It's the whole team against the whole team on 1 point. And every time they capture a point, the defenders get pushed back, and the attackers resupply more lives to keep attacking. So let's say they start with 250. They lose 150 of those lives. They only have 100 left, and then they capture that point. They get more lives back, right? So the defenders are trying to wither down their lives. Breakthrough is my favorite game mode. Dude, there's 2 maps Breakthrough is absolutely unfreaking playable on if you're attacking. Unplayable on the first 2, the first objective. It's horrendous.
The defense points are just too hard to attack.
The defense points are too hard to attack. It's too much favored in the defense. It's so bad, bad. It's not even fun. It's so sad. And then some of these maps, and then even some of the maps, like Siege of Cairo, very good map. Its Breakthrough version, I don't think is great. I think it's better as a Conquest map. I don't think there's not a single map here where the Breakthrough is okay, let's go. Iwo Jima Ridge in 2042 Breakthrough was okay, let's go. They had a whole playlist for that. We would just play that nonstop. There's not a single map on Breakthrough that's that good. Very disappointing. There's no balance. And then some of these maps will be actually okay on Conquest. That Marak Valley map or whatever it is. It's actually okay on Conquest. There is a new game mode, which I don't know if it's new or if it's always existed, called Escalation, which we really love. It's like Conquest, except the points, after you hold them for a certain amount of time, you get a point, and then they take one of the points off the map. So the number of points that you could capture and hold decreases over time until one team scores, 3 points. So yeah, very disappointed in that. The game also, the shooting feels good, but there is a tick registration thing. The time to kill, it feels weird. I feel like the way you're I don't understand this technologically, but the way consoles communicating with the server, I feel like sometimes it's you're shooting somebody and they just won't die, and then they turn around and kill you. You don't see a kill cam in this game, but from what I'm understanding is what the other guy's seeing is not what you're seeing. You think you're shooting him first and Sorry, you're on
Like
mute.
there's some sort of like delay or
There's
something.
really
basically.
a delay. If you watch his version of it, he's like already smoked you before you even fired the first shot. Like the shots aren't registering. It's weird. This also existed in 2042. I think this is just a Battlefield thing. So yeah,
wasn't it like that for what's it called, Call of Duty Warfare as well?
the
Free to play version one, right?
the Battle Royale. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I know this sounds like really negative. It sounds like I'm really hard on the game, but like at the end of the day, we're still having fun. I finally kind of figured out how to snipe. Assault is fun and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie, these games are they're make or break by their maps. Some of them are just not it, man. And even the ones that are, they're not that great. Let's be frank. Like there's better maps out there in the Battlefield series. One of them is actually from Battlefield 3, which people love, but I feel like it's too big. It's too spacious. Like it's just a lot of empty space. It's trying to get one place from another. So yeah, I guess like. I mean, I think this all would have been okay if I didn't burn myself out, but let's be frank, I burnt myself out. Let's not like, and the game doesn't have enough to offer my brain that after 70 hours of other Battlefield that I'm just gonna be like, oh, this feels like a fresh experience. It doesn't. It feels like I already played this game, and I played a lot of it, right? Again, I know this sounds negative. It's not how I'm trying to get off, but I'm just trying to say that it's like expectations versus reality. My expectations for this experience was gonna be like 10 out of 10. I'm feeling more like an 8. I'm curious to see. There's going to be updates. There's going to be new maps. But I think one thing is for certain. After playing pretty solid for a week, I was actually concerned this game was going to pull me away from everything else. And I was just going to fall off every other game I was playing, every single player game I was playing. I'm going to get addicted. When Arc Raiders comes out at the end of the month, I wasn't going to touch it because I was still going to be engrossed in Battlefield. I think the way it's looking, I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think I'm going to actually switch back to Yotei heavy, and this will be something that just to fill in.
Okay, that's not. I mean, that means it's not terrible, right? Like,
no,
it was just.
But it's not going to be like Call of Duty last year,
or not a bad perspective, but a bad experience due to it. Yeah, basically, you overplaying the old games.
Yeah,
when I guess people haven't played a Battlefield game per se for a very long time prior to like the 2 weekends, and then like some people might have hopped onto 2042 just to get a little bit of practice in, right?
And I didn't just hop into 2042. I played a lot of it, so yeah. I mean, also like it also kind of sucked because I was like level 20 in the beta, and then you start from scratch. We thought that your experience carries over, and then like starting from scratch didn't really feel good. It's like, I gotta do all these unlocks again, right? Mm-hmm. With all the like weapons unlocks and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Some classes feel better to play than others, but it's also like a team. You got to be a team player, right?
Yeah.
It's like I can't just keep going assault. Like sometimes I need to be the support class to help my team and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's also like not a lot of the BS yet because people haven't unlocked a lot of the stuff. Like in the beta, a lot of the stuff was already unlocked, but like the C4 is locked in the early levels, so nobody's been like C4ing jeeps and running them into people or C4ing tanks. It's only been starting to like show up more recently. Like nobody's running like some crazy incendiary shots on a shotgun. I've been seeing them just a little bit more and more recently, but yeah, it's fun, but I feel like I'm trying to get that fun, and I have not been hitting that. I've not been hitting that high. I tried like chasing challenges to do the challenges that they do, like the weekly ones and the daily ones, to see like if it could give me a little bit more engagement. These challenges are not as fun as the 2042 ones. 2042 ones, they would have silly challenges. It's like get 2 kills with the repair tool, which is the thing you use the blowtorch to repair the tank. Mm-hmm. So you have to sneak up behind someone and like kill them with the blowtorch, or like, you know, do something stupid like road kills with a vehicle. This is just like get 50 headshots, get whatever. It's just like, okay, whatever. It's you just passively doing them.
Yeah. Just there's no like specific thing that you have to do, kind of deal. You have to go out of your way to kind of cheese almost.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess we've played a lot of Conquest. We played Breakthrough. We played Escalation. We've played a little bit of Rush. I haven't tried any of the smaller size map game modes. There's one map that's specifically for small game modes I've never tried. But there's like a Domination, a King of the Hill, whatever game modes. So I haven't tried all of those. I haven't really tried any air vehicles like jets or anything. I'm not really that type of person, but I wanted to give them a shot. Yeah, so tanks also feel a little bare bone compared to 2042. 2042 had this thing where if you hopped in a tank almost every single person had a role in that tank. So you don't feel passive, right? Mm-hmm. Even if your basic role was like you're spotting enemies, you have like a spotter that helps you spot enemies, that's okay. On some of these tanks, they're actually like single person operator. He's driving, he's shooting everything. Everybody else sitting there is just chilling, just watching. And then there's some tanks that are like, well, you have a gunner with you, but then everybody else is just kind of chilling there. There's no vehicles where you're like actively doing something else, like you can't repair the tank from the inside. So you're just using it for transport. It's kind of like a little weird. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's Battlefield 6. So yeah, Derwin, you got anything else you're excited for in these coming weeks here?
No, I don't think anything I've seen from ZTA has really like sold me on the idea.
No.
I'm just gonna be playing like my friend's copy of ZTA. I didn't pre-order it or anything. Okay. So I'm probably just gonna try and play through the story. I don't think it's gonna sell me on it. From all of the mega evolutions, they didn't seem really cool to me. They just seemed like kind of like they did one thing to make it kind of look different. So I don't know. This game didn't really sell me. I don't know. I feel like I had some hype. I had some like dissent after seeing some of the scummy things that Nintendo did, and then now like post-launch, what is it? 2 days now that it's been out.
Been like a couple of days, yeah.
Yeah, like nothing that I've seen online to really sell me on. I need to pick up a copy and play and keep playing.
I bet you'd sold like hotcakes though. Holy smokes!
I bet you it did.
Well, I mean, I've been every time like there's been a new release over the last like month or two. I'll like ask EB Games here. I'll be like, "Are you guys doing midnight launch for Ghost of Yotei?" They're like, "No, we don't have enough pre-ordered copies." I'm like,
"Wow,
midnight
that's
launch
crazy."
For Battlefield 6? There was actually no midnight launch for Battlefield 6 because they actually released the game at 10 o'clock the next day. And I'm like, "Are you doing midnight launch for Silent Hill F?" No, they're like, "No." I'm like, "Are you doing?" And then every time I would call them and ask them, they're like, "But we are doing midnight launch for ZTA. We have enough pre-orders for that." So they did do a midnight launch for ZTA. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the pictures from it as well, because I think that was also very similar to or very close to the
Switch.
The ROG Ally X launch, right?
I think it was the same day.
And people on the subreddit was like, "Oh my god, all these people are here for like the Xbox launch or whatever," but no, it was just for Pokemon.
Yeah, fun stuff. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. There's Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out next week. I feel like is too close to Ghost of Tsushima for me to hop into that. Then I'll completely lose focus on either. Yeah, I'll lose focus on either. So I think I might have to finish Yotei first before I touch that one even. And then,
for sure.
And then Outer Worlds 2, which I'll try. I don't know if I'll play Outer Worlds 2, but that one too will maybe. I don't know. Then I think it comes down a little bit. November's a little chill. There's still some releases, but nothing crazy.
For sure. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what reviews come out for some of these games. But like I said, Ghost of Yotei has my full attention until I think I beat it. And I'm going to be so hyped to talk to you about it.
Oh, I'm so hyped. I want to go play right now. So maybe we should. All right, Derwin, that's it for us this week. Thanks for joining us, guys, for another episode of the Slow Run Cast. If you liked what you listened to, please leave us any type of engagement, like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever it is on our YouTube channel or on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you guys next week. We're out.